I'm back at the office. I'm back at the office. Actually, the reason why I'm here is that I actually had to go first to one of my rentals to patch some holes in the walls. Believe it or not, yes, I was doing it myself, not delegating it, but because I had made a promise to the new tenant who moves in tomorrow, she's gonna come get the keys that I would do it, and I completely forgot. So I had to get some tools real quick and take care of it so that it would be ready for her when she comes. But anyhow, that was a minor thing. So, and then on my to-do list for today, I had this new script for my upcoming YouTube video. Let me see what the topic was supposed to be. What was I supposed to talk about? Looking at my content strategy. This is what my social media manager put together for me. I have this calendar for the whole month, and I'm following this to the T, obviously, because you got to put in the work in order to get some results. Inputs equal outputs. A long enough time horizon. So yeah, my new long video is uploading as we speak. Based on what I can see here, it should be done in a matter of maybe 1 or 2 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, that's gonna be published today, and then the next one is supposed to be released on Sunday, which means that I need to be able to record latest Sunday morning around noon, and then get that going. So for that, today's Thursday, it's almost 5:30 p.m. here. So I need to put together the script, send it over to my guy, my social media guy. He's gonna take a look at my hook and my CTAs, and then I need to prep tomorrow and then record Saturday. He has a full 24 hours to turn it around, and then, like I said, publish or upload it on Sunday. So my schedule right now calls for 2 long videos per week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shorts, and then a couple of LinkedIn posts and Instagram carousel posts and stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking at right now as far as my schedule goes on my calendar. And the next video is, the long form video is 20 years of real estate investing advice in X minutes. So idea is to summarize what I know based on my 20 plus years in this game, or playing this game. And then here's the brainstorming session. Here's how I always start my content game. Many people think that all we do is that we just use ChatGPT or whatever AI and it's going to give us a script. I, for the record, use ChatGPT or AI extensively, but I never do it here in the beginning. I just try to think about the topic that I want to talk about, and then what I do next is that then I basically put it together. I use a big sheet of paper like this. I take my notes and put together the rough framework, and then I usually do a voice memo, record it instead of typing it again. That's what I used to do, but I just hate typing. So I do a voice memo because ChatGPT has that recording function. It's very convenient. So far it's been bulletproof in my case at least. So then I go through the script, and then I ask for feedback, and then I do a couple of rounds of that back and forth, and then that's how I put together my script. Then it goes to my social media guy. Then he looks at it. He gives me ideas as far as the title goes, and the hook and the captions and whatnot. And then he sends it back, and then I finalize it on my own. And usually I still make edits before I actually go here, where I record most of my videos in front of my whiteboard, or then I go someplace else. In the future, I'm going to do more video recording elsewhere than in the office, because I think this is too much of a school-like environment. So actually, I think on Saturday I'm going to go to one of my properties. It's a pretty nice location. It's right by the water, so I was thinking of doing it there. The only problem is that I don't have my whiteboard with me, so maybe what I'm going to do is to take the portable version, this motherfucker, and take that with me, or then just, you know, not have a whiteboard at all, and then my editor is going to add the visuals later, maybe. So we'll see. I'm at my office. This is still the same modest place, and now I have a portable AC. It's blowing right there. Yeah, it's the window unit. You got to have that tube to make sure that the hot air goes out, but it's better than nothing because this is not, there is no AC in this building. There is no AC, so I'm kind of stuck with my own stuff. And then here behind me, this is my very amateur-like studio. It's not a studio. And my printer, and my desk, and my laptop. So that's how I do this stuff. Anyhow, I wouldn't come back here, so it's been a long day. I had my massage appointment in the morning. I had my live starting at, I think, maybe early, before 7 in the morning. That was like a 75-minute live this morning. It was really good. I mean, I had couple of active guys there asking a bunch of questions, so I think I was able to cover quite a lot of topics. And then I worked and went back home, cooked a little bit, and came back to the office, and it's 5:30 now. So I think it's going to be another couple of hours here, followed by a brief visit to that rental that I have. I have a new tenant coming tomorrow, so she's going to come and pick up the keys. I don't have a property manager for that. And then I just got to make sure that everything is nice and clean there. And then that's probably it for the day. And then maybe work on the script a little more. Yeah, most likely I have to. So I'll probably be done around 9 or 10 tonight. And I started around 7-ish. So yeah, of course I didn't work full time the whole time, but it's going to be an easy 12, 13-hour day. I'm not saying this to get sympathy points, by the way. I'm just telling everybody that, and maybe myself more than anything, that being an entrepreneur is the hardest thing ever professionally, and especially when you have a startup like mine. I just started this content game and business coaching a year and 3 months ago, so I'm still building a startup, and money is coming in, but not enough, so to say. And time will tell how good I truly am. That's the beauty of it, because I always get what I deserve. But yeah, so no free time issues. Tomorrow morning probably do another live, and then I have to go to the gym, and I get to go to the gym, and then followed by a bunch of stuff as well. So who do we have online? I have one person. So any questions? So feel free to shoot anything. It just, doesn't matter what the topic is. I'm gonna be working as we go as well. I'm gonna be looking at kind of like talking about a bunch of stuff, and then seeing if there's any comments, and keep this dialogue going if there's a dialogue. If not, then no hard feelings. These microphones are kind of messed up. 20 years of real estate advice. Yeah, and if there's anybody online, by the way, nobody's right now, but I'm just looking at my video. 49% checked. 11 minutes and 46 seconds is the new video. Flip versus hold. Which model builds wealth? That's the topic. So make sure to check that out if you're interested in making money in real estate, or I guess the learning supply elsewhere too. So 20 years of real estate advice. What would I tell myself if I went back 20 plus years? I'm 48 now. When did I start investing? Like 23 years ago? How many rentals do I have right now? Active rentals in my portfolio. Let me look it up real quick. I've got 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 13, 15, 2, 4. I've got 20 rentals right now that I have. So I don't know if it's good or bad. Could be better, it could be worse, I guess. I'm actually downsizing just a little bit because I want to pay off some debt. I'm at a stage right now where I don't really want to have too much debt. Debt is a good thing if you know what you're doing, but right now I just feel that I want to lighten the load a little bit and make one part of the business free and clear, and then just see how it goes going forward. So, but anyhow, 20 years of real estate advice. Like any business, real estate is no different. It boils down to three things. How do I get customers? How do I deliver to my customers? And then how do I run the operations? Run the ops. So if I were to start, I would understand the basics. Learn these three skills. I'm just taking notes, creating the baseline for my next long YouTube video script. 20 years of real estate advice in, say, 10 minutes. That's the topic. Let's see if my video if it's already uploaded. No, 64% is checked. Edit draft. No, I don't need to edit it. So what's going on? So one person online, don't want to throw you under the bus or put you on the spot, but if you feel like saying anything, feel free, I'm here. If you have a bad day, you can say how ugly I am here on the other side. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just like any communication is always appreciated. Learn these three skills. Number one, learn how to sell. Number two, build and lead. These are the building blocks. This is the business and this is the personal side. So now I have a framework as far as how I'm going to structure this. So if you run a company, in skills in this order. Learn how to sell, build, and lead. If you're going to build a business that makes money while you sleep. And the business, I mean, no matter how complicated you want to make it look, but all company basically operations or organizational charts boil down to three things. You got to figure out how you get customers, and there are different elements that relate to that, but you basically need to acquire the customers, so you basically sell and market. Then you need to figure out how you run, basically your delivery side, meaning your product. How do you design or manufacture your product, and how do you make sure that the product is delivered to your customers? So how do I get customers, how do I deliver to customers, and then how do I run the operations? All of the rest of the stuff, like HR, finance, and legal and stuff, kind of like the support functions, very important stuff, but meaning that's the stuff that kind of like keeps everything flowing. Stay out of trouble part of the business. So those three things. You look at these fancy organizational charts. When I had a corporate career, we would basically reshuffle the deck every 6 months. There would be the same thing in using different names and different titles and different shit, same shit in different package. But it all boils down to this: how do I get customers? Then how do I deliver to these customers? And how do I run my operations? The rest of the stuff. In the beginning, when you're just by yourself, you just have to do all of these alone, and that's why it gets difficult. And then, in order for you to survive in all three stages of business, meaning being able to, when you're by yourself, that part when you scale and when you turn it into a business. So then that's where you need these three skills. You need to learn how to sell first, market and sell basically. How do I make sure that I create attention? And then I need to start building something like my processes and my product or my service. And then at the end of the day, I need to be able to lead so that I can hire people and get it going. So those are the things. And then 3 stages. Yeah, 3 stages. This is actually very good now. I'm happy about this. 3 stages. Alone. Hire. And build processes. 1, many, and then leadership. Are there any questions, anybody? 2 people online. I actually need to see how I painted this picture in my previous video, which I was just looking at actually. Are you wasting time? What nobody tells you about. Which video was this that I looked at? This one. I'm just going through my own videos. It's actually good. Sometimes I have this weird memory that I do something and then like this one, I get a video recorded and over with, and then like, I forget completely what I said during the video. Okay, so this is what I'm watching. It's one of my videos from the past.
Still couldn't afford health. Eventually, I realized I was sacrificing way too much of my health and family for a business that wasn't growing. So in this video, I'm going to show you what 3 steps I took to fix my business, buy back my time, and eventually get ready to hire the right people.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what I mentioned here in the last video.
If you just want help figuring out what's right for you, I'm offering a free consultation so you don't have to guess. Click the link below to book a call.
That's a
Every
CTA.
business owner goes through 3 phases.
Yeah, this is
Phase
what I mean.
1 is when you do everything yourself.
Alone.
Phase 2 is when you start hiring people, so you go from 0 to 1 and many. And then phase 3 is when you actually build that real business, systems, and you start leading. Most people stay stuck here in phase 1. Why? Because they're too busy to grow and to grow.
I just wanted to see which terms I use because I want to refer to the same stuff here in my next video. So the whole idea is to kind of like go back and give, see what kind of advice I would give myself. Kind of like 20 plus years of real estate advice in 10 minutes. That's what I'm going to be talking about next in my next video. So it's thundering outside. And now I need to this is the baseline. And I'm just figuring out if this is doable to present without the whiteboard, if it gets too complicated. My editor he's going to have to pull a miracle as far as being able to showcase this to people, like use the visuals on that as part of the video. I'm a big fan of like using visual elements like whiteboard and stuff because I'm a simple guy. I like simple ideas. They are the most effective ones. So I want to see everything. That's why I always kind of like try to see if just talking through things is enough for others to understand. One of the hardest things, by the way, in this business too, and in any other business, to be able to understand what simple really means. I use the same example all the time. So like here, in my next so-called assignment for myself, I need to put together a script for the next video. So if you think about it, how easy it would be for me to spit everything out. I know quite a bit about doing business over the last, especially real estate stuff, right? Over the last 23 years or so. So I would like basically just do a 15-minute long voice memo and ask AI to kind of transcribe that and put together a script, and it would be like just super long. That would be very complex. There would be plenty of information there. It would be very hard for somebody who's actually trying to figure out how to build a similar business to see what's relevant and what's not. So for me to be able to teach that same concept to somebody, if I can't explain it to a 9-year-old, this old saying, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but if I can't explain it to a 9-year-old, I don't know it myself. And I think it's a fantastic saying, because true value lies in your ability to simplify things. If you think about it, again, using this same example from the school world. Let's say you go to high school and your teacher gives you an assignment. You have to put together this, I don't know, essay, or write a story about whatever, something say history related, and you spill your guts out and you put everything on a piece of paper or whatever, using computer nowadays, and it ends up being 4 to 5 pages long. Then the teacher comes back to you and says, okay, yeah, Mr. whatever, or Mrs. or Miss, well done, but this is way too complex. Nobody understands what you really mean. So I want you to cut it down to 2 pages only. So half as long. So from 4 to 2 pages. Does it get easier or harder? It gets a lot harder, right? Why? Because making something shorter and more simple makes you think. It forces you to really understand yourself what truly matters. Okay, so what happens then? So you have 2 pages left. So then you go back to your teacher and say, okay, well, here it is. I did what you said. So yeah, fine, looks better, but it's not good enough. Go from 2 to 1. What do you have to do? You go back to the drawing board and you say, okay, I already thought that I really, really simplified my message, but no, it's not done yet. You can do still better job. So imagine how hard that is, going from 2, originally 4 pages to 1, and being still saying the same thing, or the things that truly matter. That's what this, I mean, to me, in the beginning, it took me a while to realize that content is no different. You have to be able to give people a lot of valuable info, meaning add value, but say it in a way that it's done in a very simple way and it doesn't take too long, because people just lose their patience. So that's why I always go back to my own scripts and I'm wondering, if this is too complex, can I simplify it? Should I add this and that? Because when we look at the statistics of the videos, you can see when people just like lose interest, what the drop-off point is. So usually it's, if you can, view duration is one of the key metrics. So you look at, when do people drop off? When do they lose interest? So is it at the 2-minute mark, at the 5-minute mark, or whatever? So that's a good indicator as far as how much value I can provide, and how attractive the hook is, and how quickly I can go straight to the point. And I think I made a mistake in the beginning. Definitely I made a mistake where I just said too many things, and I was trying to kind of be fancy, and I was trying to explain myself, thinking that I somehow need to prove myself that that this stuff adds value. Okay, so anyhow, I'm here in the office. My AC is blasting, this portable motherfucker that just, because I don't have cooling here, so I just had to bring my own. So this is still my modest space where I record my videos and come here to have some quiet time when I don't work from home. So, man, I just have a hard time seeing the indicators here. Okay, since there's not too much activity, I'm going to get back to my script, start thinking about this a little bit, and wait if there's people who want to ask questions or stuff. Just trying to figure out how to start this thing. Get customers, deliver to customers, run operations, 20 years of real estate advice. What's up? So, putting together a script for my video that's supposed to be released on Sunday. I'm going to record it on Saturday. I'm here in the office to put to draft my script. I'm just seeing if there's a new video. Yes, it's now online actually. So if you guys are interested, go take a look at it. Flip versus hold, which model builds well faster? I love people with content. Book a free strategy session with me. Okay. If you have already done, interesting. So yeah, if you guys are interested, go take a look at go check out that latest video that I just released on my social media guy released. Discard change. What changes did I make? What the heck? I didn't do anything, right? Yeah, content. This is the latest video here. Flip versus hold, which model builds well faster? So if you're interested, go check it out. It's on my channel. Latest long, 11 minutes, 46 seconds. The next one after that is going to come out on Sunday, and that's why I'm here in the office. It's almost 6 p.m. Trying desperately to figure out how to say the relevant things in my script so that I know what to talk about then when I'm recording. Had a really interesting session this morning, my live. I've been hosting like morning lives by local time here, 6, 7 a.m., 5-6 days in a row, and these evening, late afternoon lives occasionally as well. So I've been pretty active and busy with the lives. I enjoy this format a lot, by the way. So my idea is to go a little off topic here and take those guys, or those of you who are interested behind the scenes, and see what kind of a personality I am, because if you watch my videos, you might get a little different, what's the right word, perception, so to say. Hey, I've been watching for a while. What advice would you give to yourself if you were 18 and starting a business? Okay, what kind of business? Teenage Gigaman. What kind of business is it? Or just overall? Well, there's so many things that come to my mind, but we can go deeper into this. So first of all, there are different starting points as far as how you can start a business. So I would first start with that by understanding online coaching. Okay. So first of all, the number one thing that comes to my mind is that obviously you're in the business of solving people's problems. So identify a problem in the marketplace. Let's say it's personal training or nutrition or whatever, just something simple. It could be online coaching for photo editing. Okay, so what's the problem? What do people suffer from? Okay, and then identify how you can add value, and always put yourself in the customer's shoes, since I'm assuming you already are interested in that topic. So you start from the passion perspective. Okay, so there are 3 ways that you can start a business, in my opinion. So you're deeply interested or passionate about something, which means that you don't really lose motivation that easily. Or 2, you are intimately familiar with, or very familiar with, the problem in the marketplace. Let's say, as an example, that I've been using massage services in the market for 30 years. I train actively at the gym, so I'm always sore, and I have these nicks and knacks here and there. So I've been using different services in different countries for 30 years, over the last 30 years. So I know what's missing and what's not. So that would be an example of me being very familiar with the problem itself. Okay, so first one was that passion or interest. Second one is problem, and the third is previous profession. Let's say you're an accountant, you work for somebody else, and you basically outsource yourself. You know what I mean? The last one is the easiest to start with, because you already have proof of concept. See what I mean? So you already know that somebody's willing to pay for that. The other two, the only problem with that, in my opinion, is that you might hate your job. So you might absolutely hate what you do. So it's like not a very good starting point. So therefore, I always lean towards number one or number two, very, very interested or passionate about something. And like in my case, when I start something like that, I never run out of steam. Or then if you're very familiar with the problem, and usually there's interest behind that too. So those two are good starting points. Assuming you have that base covered, then the second question is, like I said, what's the problem in the marketplace and what's my solution? And understand that people are always willing to pay for time and convenience. Okay, so if I'm, let's say you are an online coach for people who want to edit pictures, as an example, okay? So understand what the problem is and ask yourself, how can I make their dream end result easier for them? How can I deliver it faster? And how can I make it risk-free? So basically, let's say the dream outcome is that somebody can learn how to edit pictures in 7 days. That would be the dream outcome. Okay, so they would be, somebody could teach them very quickly without, let's say they are not tech savvy, they don't know how to use the tools or whatnot. So you would be able to come in and teach them in a matter of 1 week how to go from a complete amateur to a 100% pro, full-blown pro, right? So that would be the dream outcome. So then ask yourself, okay, how can I make it risk-free so that the offer I'm making, the service I'm offering, in the eyes of the buying customer, it looks like there's nothing to lose, it's risk-free. How can I deliver that service in half the time and make it twice as easy? That's what value always means. You know, how risky it is, you know, how can I make it faster, how can I make it cheaper, how can I make it easier, right? That's how I would start basically. And I would spend ridiculous amounts of time in understanding what those people suffer from. So go to Reddit forums, or again, if your coaching is like I said in my example, if it's about pictures or photography or whatever, video editing or whatever that is, I'm sure there's plenty of online discussion forums around that topic. So spend endless amounts of time and hours on those forums understanding intimately what these people are talking about. What are the pain points? Then you're like, okay, I didn't get that, but this seems interesting. And then that's how you really understand. You put yourself in the customer's shoes and you understand what value to them means. What are the pain points in that? Like I said, massage business. I actually put together a business plan when I was considering this, starting a business like that. And you know, I always, in that case, divide the value chain into 3 parts: before, during, and after. I put myself in the client's shoes, somebody who is willing to, who wants to use these services. So before would be that, how easy it is to get a hold of this therapist. You know, is there online booking? What about texting? What about calling? You know, how can I find parking? What happens when I get there? Are there instructions about, am I supposed to be there naked? You know, like the silliest, you know, things as part of the value chain, before, during, and after. And then identify all the problems that there are, then come up with the solutions, and then start prioritizing. And that then the priority becomes your offer. Was that too much? Did that make sense? It's all about understanding what the paying client or customer needs. Don't worry about your competition. Don't look at their pricing. Look at what people need. And then make, you know, in the beginning, I would also focus on a very, very narrow niche instead of going really wide. Okay, thanks. Teenage Giga Man. Yeah, it made sense. And reach out if you want to have a, you know, I'm offering a free, I'm not selling anything to you. I'm just stating the facts that if you want to reach out, we can have a 30-minute quick chat one-on-one, and I'm more than happy to offer my 2 cents. So that's an offer to anybody out there. Doesn't need to be real estate related or whatever, but just reach out, send me a DM or email me, and we'll schedule something. But yeah, I mean, business is always about understanding what people need. the less we assume, the better off we are. So how do we know? We ask the people, we ask the marketplace. You never need to guess when you ask people. And who do we ask? The potential clients. And now with the modern technology, with AI, we are able to shorten the time to market by putting together an offer, creating a landing page. You have your core offer in place, you create a landing page. All of this is pretty much free. And then you start marketing. You could start creating content. You could start doing all kinds of things to see or reach out to people you know. And it's like, hey, what do you think? Would you be willing to pay for this stuff? Then you would be able to get feedback right away. How do I narrow down as narrow as possible if I want to target a specific niche? Okay. So I'll give you an example. So you basically start identifying what these people need. Okay, I'll give you an example from the gym world. Okay, if I'm a personal trainer, let's say I wanted to start a personal training business today. Okay, and usually what people do is that it's a combination. So in order for them to scale, they need to have an online product, right? So they are offering let's say a $99 a month. You know, you get your quote unquote customized diet meal plan, and then you get like some weekly maybe tips via WhatsApp or whatever, and then the same person might want to do face-to-face stuff as well. But let's say I don't know where you are, but let's say you are, you live in the state of California, okay? And you're in Southern California. You're like, okay, well, potentially California could be my market, or the whole US actually could be my market. So it's like I become an online coach. Okay, so you start boiling the ocean. It's like, do you know how many online personal trainers there are? I don't know, I'm guessing 55 million in the US. Anyhow, a ridiculous number. So then when you start that way, okay, so it's like the whole nation. It's like, okay, this doesn't seem to work. I'm way too generic. How do I narrow it down? Okay, geographically. Okay, so that's the first option. So you go like, okay, instead of looking at the whole nation, I'm California only. Oh, even this doesn't work. It's just like, I'm just drowning here. It's like, there's no way for me to separate myself from the rest of these people. Then you go, it's like, okay, Southern California, I'm from LA County. Okay, so I'm gonna do LA County. And then even the next step, I would be like, instead of LA County, I'm only in Manhattan Beach. Okay, so I'm gonna do a very specific geographic area. And then I'm like, okay, what kind of people live in that area? That's close to me, so it would be convenient for me to see people face to face, help them with their grocery shopping, go to the gym with them, and also be able to do something online. Okay, what kind of people live in Manhattan Beach? So it's like upper end, 3 million plus homes and whatnot. So wealthier people. Okay, so female or male? Okay, so maybe females. So maybe my target group is then 40 to 50-year-old stay-at-home moms who are into green values, electric cars, Whole Foods as their grocery store and stuff like that. See what I'm saying? So you all of a sudden you go from nationwide to California to LA County to Manhattan Beach, and then within that geographical area you start looking at female versus male, income, socio-economical status and whatnot. And then you're like, okay, so 40 to 50-year-olds, females who drive white Teslas and shop at Whole Foods and their kids play soccer. Okay, initially there aren't that many people like that. Yeah, I get that. It's like, don't let that confuse you. So your total addressable market all of a sudden, instead of being billions, is like maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, right? But then what happens is that when these ladies, or I don't know, whoever that is, these women in their 40s to 50s with their white Teslas, start looking for a personal trainer, and your content, the way you promote and advertise, is specifically geared towards these people. Guess what happens? They see you as the only option in that area. Oh, this guy is also in Manhattan Beach. He trains his clients at the same gym where I go, or maybe at the gym that's very close to me. And he talks about these things. And he knows the grocery stores that I go to because he already in his YouTube channel, he has videos that highlight how do I find these food items or these foods in that particular local Whole Foods grocery store. See what I mean? And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this guy is a perfect fit. So then what happens is that you don't compete on price, you compete on value. And then your price actually can be higher because you are specific, you like that tailor-made suit. See what I mean? Did I answer your question? I think I did. So that's how you do it. Again, you start looking at the ideal client in that area. But it's really important to understand that you don't really look at your competition, because many people make the mistake of, if let's say your market is like high end, like the middle of the pack, or the mid tier and the low end. In order for you to compete in the low end, you need to have efficiency in all of your operations. I'm talking about like Walmart, Costco level type stuff. And you only compete on price. And the problem with that is that when somebody comes and is able to undercut you, is able to offer a lower price, you lose customers right away. The middle is where you get drowned, because people enter that market with the same mindset, more for less. They look at the competition and say, okay, this guy is offering the personal training service in California for $99. So I'm going to offer a little more for a little less. So instead of $99, my offer is $89, and I'm going to offer one free PT class on top of the existing stuff. You know what I mean? So one size fits all and more for less type of an approach. And you can't separate yourself. So instead of that, try to go a little high tier, but make sure you add value, because you can't just raise your price if you don't know what these people want. That's why, and in order for you to know what these people want, you go and look at the value chain, right? And then you see, okay, what is it that I need to understand here? What is it what are the pain points that people go through? Any other questions, anybody? That was a good question. Teenage Giga Man. And good luck with your business. Does my offer have to include something related to the pain points of my niche? Yes, absolutely, offering a solution. It's the dream outcome. So your core offer, your headline is basically the dream outcome. And then if you have your landing page, you create your landing page, it basically is the dream outcome. You identify the pain point and the solution, and then the solution is kind of like the dream outcome. And then let's say you have like a one-pager landing page, then the dream outcome is the headline, and then underneath that you tackle, how fast, how easy, and how risk-free it's going to be. You know what I mean? Letting people know that, okay, if let's say online photography is your thing, learn how to take professional pictures in 7 days. Okay, that's the dream outcome. Money back, 100% money back guarantee is making it risk-free, right? Make it so easy that it's impossible to say no to it. Okay, we had risk, we have ease, and we had speed, right? So you tackled in 7 days. Risk was the money back guarantee, and easy, and you would say in 2 simple steps, or without using any complicated tools, using your existing tools, using your iPhone or Android phone. I was like, okay, I already have it. That's easy. Okay, money back guarantee, make it risk-free, learn in 7 days, right? But then, of course, like I said, you need to make sure that you can deliver. If you don't know what I'm not talking about you, but overall, you can't launch a business if you can't add value. I've been doing real estate for 23 years. I can add value. I know I can help most people in building their business, whether they are starting entrepreneurs or even if they have a company with 500 employees and they build apartment buildings. I know I can add value. I'm confident. It's a whole different story if I ever get a chance to help all of these people. Of course I won't. And I won't be a personality fit with everybody, but I know I can help them. But I wasn't able to help them at year 1. But maybe you have been, I don't know what your industry is, but like I said, I just use this online photography as an example. Let's say maybe you're 18, you could have been taking pictures for 10 years. Mr. B started making videos. Well, he's now what? Like you guys know, you're younger than me. He's probably 26, 27. He started making videos when he was 10, 11, 12. So he's been doing it for 12 or 13 years. Even though he's young, he has a lot of experience. He has a lot of skills. Of course, I mean, he's the best in his business. So it doesn't matter how young or old you are. It's what matters is the experience and the reps you've been able to put in. Like I said, your thing, whatever that thing is, maybe you have done it and you have the experience, but you just have to overcome that hurdle of convincing the people. If you look very young and you are young by age too, it might be a harder sell. But that's why in the beginning, then you might be willing to, or you might have to work for free in the beginning and give these people, like, provide proof. It all boils down to proof versus promise. So promise, marketing is just empty promises. When I tell you that I can help, okay, I'll give you an example. So when I tell you that I can help most people, do you believe me? You have no proof. It's just my promise. And it's going to be an empty promise until I deliver on that promise, okay? But what if you worked for free in the beginning and then you collected testimonials from these people? If you can, assuming you can add value, you say, okay, hey, all it takes is just like, if I can help you, give me a chance to help you for 4 weeks. Let me teach you how to take those pictures in 7 days using the existing tools so that you can become like a whatever. So then maybe it's worth starting for free and then be willing to bite the bullet for the first, 3 to 6 months and collect as many testimonials as possible, and then kind of go that way. And then use those reviews and testimonials in your marketing everywhere you can, and then go from there. See what I mean? I don't know if Teenage Gigaman is still online, but this is applicable to all of you too. Well, there's only one person online, but that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Isn't this great? I mean, this interactivity, is that a word? Interaction, sorry, I don't know. Broken English. Online fitness okay, so it was close. Online fitness coaching, but I can't seem to have time to. So you don't have time to work on your business. Okay, so you have a full-time job? What do you have, like a 9 to 5? Or are you studying? So here's the thing. Yes, I do. So you have a full-time job? And is that job not fitness related? It's something else. I do sales for bike wash service company. Okay. And that's an 8 hours, like a 9 to 5. So you still have the evenings, right? And the weekends. Do you have any clients right now, as of now, for your online fitness stuff? Or are you just planning on starting, or your goal is to start? Okay, so it's a 9 to 10 job, and I've trained 2 people for. Okay, so you're actually answering my second question. So it's a 9 to 10 job. So your sales thing is basically a 13 hours. So it's 13 hours every day. Is that what I'm saying? Is that what you're saying? And you have already started coaching 2 people for free on the fitness side. So your sales job is that, takes the whole day, and then you have started the online fitness coaching by training some people for free. Yes. Okay, so you're working a lot. So is there a way for you to work less? Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is that if you work 9 to 10, literally like every day, like from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., 13 hours every day, that's your sales job. It's literally almost impossible for you to grow your side hustle, okay? So my first question to you would, in my opinion, my first question to you would be, can you turn that into a 9 to 5? That sales job. So like more or less 8 or 9 hours a day. And then what I would do after that is that I would, take my phone book. I would take my phone, and you probably have, I don't know, you're young, you probably have 1,000 names there, people you chat with, and I would start reaching out to every single person there that you know. And hey, it's whatever your name is, it's Jack here. I don't know if you knew, but I'm into fitness training now. So if you're interested in getting in shape, I'm more than happy to help you. I have this promo for the first 5 people that I train them for free in exchange for feedback as far as how I'm doing so that I can be better, and a testimonial if you're happy with my service. So it's a 6 week or 8 week program, or whatever you want to do, 12 weeks. Make sure it's long enough so that you can see some results. And then the only thing you need from these people, start with 5, and then, because your 9 to 5 should pay your bills so that you have the rest of the time to work on this side hustle until it becomes big enough so that you can jump ship, right? So then these 5 people, or maybe even 10, just keep reaching out to everybody who's willing to work with you for free. And I mean, it's so tempting if you know what you're doing, that people should be willing to take your offer, okay? And then after that, you document everything. You do your absolute best to over deliver, meaning value. You understand what they need. You listen to them, and like the same thing, like I told you about, like the value chain analysis. What is that these people suffer from? Is it hard for them to cook? Is it hard for them to find food, or hold their ass to the gym, or stay in discipline, or do they have the mental toughness to train hard, and stuff like that? So then after the 8 to 10 weeks or whatever, you collect the before and after pictures and the testimonials, and you hopefully have somebody, or most of these people, show their face in front of a camera and record a testimonial for you saying that, hey, Jack was great, awesome, and whatnot. And then you start using these in all of your marketing. You do endless amounts of social media free content, which I would do if I were you. Start recording videos on YouTube where you provide information, you help and educate people for free. Meaning, this is how I would do this exercise, this is how I'm eating. You record grocery shopping, videos, and you record all kinds of stuff, endless amounts of content, and then you use the testimonials, and then you basically keep reaching out, and then all these next clients after the first 5 or 10, then you keep raising your price little by little. Maybe it's first, I don't know what, $50 a month, $100 a month, then 150, and that's how you grow. But you need to work a little less in your sales job so that you would have more time to focus on that. Because if you literally work 13 hours a day, that's going to be hard for you to grow. Are you a fitness trainer or a business coach? Just curious. I'm a business coach, but I'm into fitness. I've been training for 32 years myself, so that's why I might know a thing or two about that. So, I don't know, but I know about business. So, and then fitness is my passion. So that's why I talk about it. And Teenage Gigaman here he wants to become an online fitness coach. So that's why we're talking about it. But Ahmed, thanks for your question. So yeah, I'm not a fitness coach or trainer. Good times. So, Mr. Teenage Gigaman, did I answer your question? I hope so. If not, let me know. But I definitely, I don't want to, I'm not doubting what you said, but if you work 13 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you're productive still, I don't know if you have set hours, or can you just do you have a quota? How does it work? It helped a lot. Okay, good. Good. But you got to get proof. Because if you're 18, like you said, that's a hurdle for you. I'm not saying it's impossible in any way, but it's a hurdle because, you know, age and experience is a thing, you know? But it doesn't mean that you can't grow it. You're getting older and better all the time. So just don't let the fact that you're young slow you down. But you gotta do the heavy lifting in a different way. And I think working for free is the only option right now because it's gonna be hard for you to convince a bunch of 30-year-olds or 40-year-olds to kind of like trust your word in the beginning, to be perfectly honest. Because they've been around the block a few times and they know that experience is a thing, it's a valuable thing. But like I said, it doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying that. But like I said, I think your best option is to go and start for free and then collect the testimonials. That's your proof. That's how you bridge the gap between those doubters so that, you know, the doubters become buyers and believers by providing proof. Think about it. Everything up until they see proof is just empty promises. And the younger you are, the more inexperienced you are, the bigger the hurdle or the mountain to climb. I started for free, for fuck's sake. Look, I'll give you an example. When I started my real estate business in California, okay, this was 16 years ago, I literally, the first 6 to 7 months, hear me out. So the first 6 to 7 months, you guess what I did? I had never done real estate before. I mean, I had my rentals here in Europe, but I had never done like proper fix and flips or major construction projects or like, I had fucking no clue. The only thing I had done was that I bought my own house in San Diego as an REO, real estate owned, meaning bank-owned property. People defaulted on their loan and it's like I bought it. I got a good deal and I hired a bunch of guys and I was like, okay, I know some people now. I knew one real estate agent and I knew one general contractor. I was like, that's enough. I'm going to start. But I knew that I had to analyze the market. So I spent the next 6 months analyzing every single deal that was done in those 6 to 7 zip codes in San Diego that I wanted to invest in, okay? And then not just that, but every new listing that hit those markets, I called the listing agent, every single one of them. Nobody obviously knew me. I was the guy with the funny accent who like just probably sounded insecure or whatever, but I still made the calls. I went through 2 agents who both quit on me because they said that this is never gonna work. I'm like, fuck, if all these other guys are able to do it, I can do it too. So then it took me 7 months, I got my first deal. And then after that, I was able to make name for myself. And the only thing I said to these agents in the beginning, the ones who had the listing, was like, look, what I can promise you is that I only make good promises and I keep them all. They were like, what? Yeah, that's my value proposition. I only make good promises and I keep them all. They were like, don't you know that everybody else says the same thing? I was like, yeah, I know that, but I also know that they don't keep their promise. They back away from deals, and that makes you lose face in front of your customer, which happens to be in a distressed market bank. And you don't want to lose that tape, so to say, or those big deals down the road. So I will never do that to you. Okay? So that's how I got my deals. So I had zero proof. And what I did was that I told these agents, look, the listing agents, I was like, I know I'm new in this business. I laid the cards on the table right away. Use it to your advantage. So what I told them was that, okay, look, I'm willing to go and take a look at the property and let you know what I would do if I were an investor or how much it would cost, even though I had no clue how much it would cost. I was like, okay, if I just get a chance, put my foot in the door. So I was willing to work for free and help the agents. It's like, okay, there's a guy who's willing to do something. And I was over 30 already at that point. And that's how I started this business too, for free. Literally, I worked for free when I started for a bunch of people. I had one video that went viral. One of my if you go to my channel, one video has probably like 300,000 views. Okay, so that video gave me a lot of leads, and then pretty much every single one who contacted me ended up being my clients. So with all of them, I said that, you know, I worked for free for 4 months. 4 months in exchange for a review and feedback as far as how to be better. So then, you know, in hindsight, the problem was that I then pivoted my my content towards real estate only because I felt I was too generic with my boil the ocean type thing. Remember what I mentioned at the beginning about like how you should be very narrow, and I felt that just being a regular business coach is just trying to boil the ocean. So then I was like, okay, what is it that I know the best? It's real estate. I've been doing it for 23 years. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to pivot. I'm going to reposition my channel towards real estate. So that's what I did. So I kind of like started from scratch again now a couple of weeks ago. So it is what it is. So you're 18, man. So you have, I mean, you only have time. It's like you got the whole, I mean, all the time in the world, as long as you do the right things. And you can make plenty of mistakes. That's not what I mean by doing the right things, is by pursuing your interests. That's the only thing. You're gonna make mistakes, and that's the way it should be. If you had to give me brutally honest advice about my situation, what would it be? I really need it. I really hate my current situation right now. Well, I think the brutally honest, I mean, I'm always brutally honest. I think it's just like you got to pursue your dreams. That would be the brutally honest feedback. Then don't let those fears determine who you are. What do you have to lose? Do you live with your parents, or are you by yourself? What's the worst case scenario? Okay, let's play it out. Okay, so you decided to scale back your hours. Okay, you say that, okay, you work 13 hours a day. But my advice to you is that start working less so that you can work on your side hustle. Okay, assuming 9 to 5 would still be enough for you to pay your bills. Okay, let's assume that you make X now, whatever that is. Maybe you're on a commission and you don't do that well. I live with my parents. Dude, you have nothing to lose. You have absolutely nothing to lose. So what stops you from pursuing your online fitness thing 100%? Only that. Or maybe you scale your hours back to part-time, assuming you can get some money in. Then you invest all of that money in your online coaching stuff, in marketing, in getting better, in investing in yourself, courses, how to present yourself, how can I sound convincing in front of my clients, watch endless amounts of YouTube content, and educate yourself. You have nothing to lose. You live basically assuming you don't pay rent. Maybe your parents still provide food and stuff. You have nothing, literally nothing to lose. So this is the brutally honest advice. You have nothing to lose. There should be no fear. You're not going to die. If you fail, if you have zero money coming in, your parents still take you back, and they're not even kicking you out because you live. You don't even have to go back because you're already there. Okay, maybe they charge you rent. In the worst case, they stop doing that. And you're like, okay, I'm eternally grateful. They still give you the mac and cheese. Okay, sorry, I don't mean you eat mac and cheese, but you know what I mean. They still give you the food. You have nothing to lose, literally nothing to lose. So that's the brutally honest feedback. Don't let that fear determine what you do and what you don't do. It doesn't get, I'm telling you, life will not get, there's literally zero obligations in your life right now. You have no kids, you have no wife, I assume, no spouse or partner, whatever. Imagine when you're 30 or 35 and you have 2 kids and a dog and a mortgage, and you start from scratch. And you got to figure out fast how to feed the rest of the gang. That's the brutally honest advice to you. You're fine. You're just fine. No matter what happens, you will be fine. Even if everything goes to shit, you have an epic story to tell, and you're going to get so much better. So don't be afraid of failing, because there is no such thing. You're just going to get an epic story out of it. Anyhow, so you win no matter what. Either you get to pay your bills or grow your business by doing what you love, or then you just take a couple of steps back and you have an epic story to tell. And you're going to be a lot smarter, a lot more clever, a lot more knowledgeable, and you do it again in 2 or 3 years. Maybe you work for somebody else. Maybe you become a personal trainer at a gym if you so-called don't make it now. But don't give up. It doesn't mean that you give up on your dreams. Maybe you just don't have the skills yet, or the maturity, or maybe you just are too young in front of somebody. But you don't know unless you try. Sorry, I don't I'm not critical in any way. Actually, I love your enthusiasm and your courage to ask questions and you know, like, I'm not giving you a hard time at all. Quite the opposite. I give you all the love in the world, but you wanted brutally honest advice. This is my brutally honest advice. As a favor, you know, if you want to return the favor, just do me a favor and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on my channel and watch one of my videos. Let me know what you think. Would mean a lot to me. Yeah, let me know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Any other questions, anybody? Are you the only one online? See, this is no different. Look, I watched the video about focus that you made. Okay, good. Thanks. But this is what I'm talking about. Look, I started these lives 5 days ago, and you see, you're probably the only one online right now. My peak was probably 6 to 7, maybe 8 people at the same time. But I don't announce these. I just show up and see what happens. But I'm fully committed to this being a 5-year journey. So I'm 5 days fucking in. I'm not just talking about the live, but my overall content game. And I don't know if I'm going to quote unquote make it. What does it even mean? I have no idea. But the thing is that I want to see if I have it in me. See what I mean? I know that I can help most people, but it's a different story if this ends up being anything. But I'm going to leave all out there and just, you know, so that I don't have any regrets, because I could not live with myself when I'm 90 or whatever. That feels like an eternity for you because you're so young, but I'm older than you. So I would never forgive myself if I didn't give my best right now when I have a chance. So that's, I think, how you should look at it. Forget what people think, because the reason why you probably hesitate is because of your friends thinking that you didn't make it. Fuck your friends. I mean, if they are your friends, they understand, they support you. They're the ones patting you on the back and say, good job for trying, you know? But they're not your real friends if they, or family or whatever, if they just like try to take you down or talk you out of it. Just my opinion, of course. Like anything else, filter 90% of what I say and what the rest of the world says and apply 10%. Well, maybe in this context, it's the other way around, but overall, what people tell you, 90% of it's just complete noise. Because they try to convince you to live life their way. That's why they disagree with you. That's why they try to tell you what you should do, because they are actually insecure themselves and they are trying to convince you to live life their way. Keep that in mind. So you're actually 2 years younger, 2 years older than my daughter, who's 16. And I give this advice to her all the time. I tell her that you are actually, there's one thing you need to remember. She's in high school. You are in the business of ignoring 90% of what people tell you. Did you hear what I said? 90% of what people tell you, what the society is telling you, and applying only 10%. And that's the first step, understanding that ratio, okay, 90% and 10%. And then after that, once you know what that 10% is, and it's gonna change, tomorrow it's gonna feel different than today, and you probably need to do it every day again, saying, okay, there's so much distraction, there's so many things, there's so much noise right now, it's hard to see the 10%. But once you know what that 10% is, then saying no to the rest of the stuff is so fucking hard, it's not even funny. It's hard for me, it's hard for you, it's hard for everybody. People are clueless. And that's okay, that's perfectly fine. It's just the way it works. Okay, I gotta check out now. It's been 70 minutes. I appreciate this opportunity. I have one new subscriber. Hopefully somebody who got something out of this, unless there's a new person online who has a question. But we just went through an interesting dialogue with the Mr. Teenage Gigaman, who is interested in starting an online fitness business. And credit to him, all the kudos to him for wanting to be an entrepreneur. That's the way to go if you want to be free and independent, regardless of money. Money has nothing to do with that. A lot of credit goes to you, and all the good, good luck in whatever you do. And then, like I said, offer is always there. I'm not selling, I'm just trying to help. So if you want to reach out, we can have a one-on-one online anytime. It's the free consultation call I offer to everybody. So is there any other questions? All right. You can call me EJ too if you want. Thank you. See you on the next live stream. Probably going to want to have one tomorrow morning when I wake up. And I don't know what time that is before I go to the gym. And then I will have, what day is tomorrow? Friday. Yeah, I'm going to have one probably around the same time. So. Okay, good luck, and thanks a lot for your contribution. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me that I can help. I enjoy this. So there's more people coming now. So if anybody has anything, let me know before I check out. So maybe not. So I'm gonna get to my work, my next script, which is the starting point is here, and then get going. Thank you. Have a great night.